Hello guys! Today we will start the last section of the first chapter, and I have received a lot of emails from our trainers. They say they are very interested in the history of cloud computing. And today I will introduce two basic cloud computing models to you. Believe me, this part won't let you down. Actually, cloud computing has not been globally standardized. However, in the industry, there are two kinds of models. One is deployment model, and another is service model. Let me introduce them one by one. According to the operating model, it can be divided into public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and industry cloud. The public cloud is the first cloud computing and the most widely known cloud computing. At present, the public cloud can provide users with numerous services. Users can use our IT service like the use of water and electronic through the internet. The public cloud is usually built by cloud service providers. From the perspective of the end user, they only need to purchase cloud computing. The above resource or services and the hardware used in the cloud computing and the corresponding management tools are the responsibility of the third-party service providers. Public cloud resources are open to the public. The second category is private cloud. The private cloud is usually deployed inside the enterprise and the unit. The data running in the private cloud is stored in the enterprise-owned data center. If you need to access this data, you need to go through a firewall deployed in the data center petrol, or you can access it inside the enterprise. In the process of building a private cloud, it can be transformed based on the existing architecture of the enterprise. At the same time, the hardware equipment that has been bought before can also be used to protect the existing investment of the customer. However, all things have their own sides. If the enterprise adopts a private cloud, it can guarantee data security. It can also be used by the device, and it can protect its existing architecture. However, as time goes by, the device is getting older and older, and the replacement of these devices also requires a small fee. On the other hand, in order to ensure the security of data, the data that users can share is very small, and even if there is, it will never be shared with other companies or organizations. Another year about private clouds, there is another thing, that is to buy exclusive cloud service on public clouds. This approach puts the company's critical business and critical data on the public cloud because it has customer specification cloud computing and storage resources on a dedicated cloud and use a highly reliable, isolated network that can fully satisfy the tenant's critical applications. High reliability, high performance, high security, and so on. There is also a hybrid cloud, which is a more flexible cloud computing model. It may include public cloud, private cloud, and industry cloud, two or more models. Users' business can be switched back and choose these kinds of cloud computing according to their own needs. Public cloud resources are charged on an as-needed basis and a per-value basis. After a period of time, I will only pay the cost for this period of time. If I don't need it, I will release it and the cost will be terminated. Hybrid clouds generally use cooperated firewall to isolate the public and private clouds to ensure data security. The last one is the industry cloud. An industry cloud is a cloud platform that plays a leading role within the industry or within a certain region, or that has mastered the establishment and maintenance of key resources, and provides paid or unpaid services to the industry or related organization and the public in an open or semi-public manner. The industry cloud is not really a new concept. It is a specific way to create a cloud. Unlike public cloud or private cloud, industry clouds contain industry features during their creation. For example, the traditional transportation industry associating with cloud computing has become the transportation industry cloud. The traditional financial industry associating with cloud computing will form a financial industry cloud. The last one is healthcare industry. Associating with cloud computing will form healthcare industry cloud. This is classification method of cloud computing deployment model. And then we will look at the classification of cloud computing service model. In cloud computing, all applications that we deploy generally follow a unified hierarchy, and the application is ultimately presented to the user. The normal operation of the application depends on the running environment, as well as the middleware and the operating system. The operating system, middleware, and operating environment, as well as the underlying hardware, are storage resources, computing resources, and network resources. Therefore, according to these three levels, we divided the survey model of cloud computing into three types. One is S, IaaS. One is PaaS, PaaS. And one is SaaS, SaaS. The S layer includes the lowest level of these resources, such as resource calculation, storage resource, and network resource. Sometimes, some operating systems are also included. The PaaS layer is calculated from the running environment and then continue to the underlying resources. This way of providing users with this is called PaaS. SaaS is an application that includes the running time environment and contains all the resources. This is a SaaS service model. How to distinguish this as PaaS SaaS? For example, we have to play a console game before. We first need to download the installation package and then it will prompt when installing. It will prompt you to install the architecture. Finally, we still need to buy a computer. Nowadays, if you want to play this game, I only purchase the computer from the cloud, including CPU, memory, and storage. This is S. If the cloud computing service provider has already installed the computer, the operating system is installed, and Net Framework is also installed, this is PaaS. Finally, if the game is also installed, then this is called SaaS. Okay, everyone, until now, we have finished all the 5 sections of the first chapter. And here we have 2 questions to check if you have understand all the content of this chapter. The first question is, which of the following services offered by Huawei Cloud falls into the category of SaaS services? The second question is, the memorable service characteristic of the cloud computing mean that user pay for how long and how much they use the cloud service. Please think about all the 2 questions carefully. Okay, everyone, we have finished all the content of this chapter. Now we have to do a summary. At the beginning, we list some applications in our daily life about cloud computing. From these applications, we summarize the advantages of cloud computing. And then we introduce its definition, origin, and development. At last, I introduce 2 kinds of cloud computing model to you. Pay attention, all above are just a brief introduction to cloud computing. In the next several chapters, we will talk about some technologies of cloud computing.
For example, in the second chapter, I will give you an introduction of compute visualization. See you next time. Bye!